Hello everybody, my name is Hammock. Today we're going to do a demo review of an engineer named Milo, who's currently playing in UGC Platinum. They have quite a few hours, only like 800 hours, but they play a lot of TF2 Center and have basically just dedicated all their TF2 experience into competitive, which is kind of cool. And they say they want to play more of a supportive playstyle, less around DM, which is kind of my area. So let's just have a watch through this and see how they're doing. So let's start this. Okay. On the Recruit effect, good start. I like it. Rescue Ranger, Wrangler. Some cool cosmetics. Okay. So this is a lobby, so it's obviously not like the most ideal situation to base skill off of. But not everyone can have footage of scrims. Looks like they're doing the Jag effect rollout, which is a decent rollout to take in lobbies when you can particularly have people who are either not experienced in the game or are just assholes who like to steal all your metal or not suicide. So it's a good setup. Not really much to talk about besides they're doing the optimum rollout. Spawn switching. Spawn switching is usually inconsistent depending on if the item server is slow that day, but they're doing it pretty well. Dispenser spot is a little bit too far forward. I don't particularly like this dispenser spot because it kind of baits your team to standing around here where they can get bombed easily if the enemy team walks up. Ah, Master of Disaster on the pyro. I would prefer to put dispenser like here at the staircase. Okay. Nice counter against the spy. Yeah, dispenser at the staircase here, because it gives the people ammo, like heavy, when he's holding this top area. Or maybe dispenser, like, back here. Teleport is in a good spot. Sentry is in a good spot. You want to be, like, kind of watching the back here a lot, just in case of a spy. Whereabouts is there a spy at the moment? Fear the medic. Okay, Fear the medic looks like they're in. He bumped him. I don't think he didn't notice the spy. This main part is just making sure that you don't die as an engineer. So let's just see how he reacts. If we can check for the spy. He seems to be spy checking on a lot of his Wrangler. Yeah, you can't. It's really hard to actually take out a spy using the Wrangler bullets. The bullets don't actually like hit disguise spies or cloak spies enough. The team's deciding to back out here because they lost their meds, so this would be a good time to get out. Is he staying on Eureka effect? Here he is. Okay. Okay, your team is deciding to stay in, that's alright. It just looked like your heavy wanted to back out. Okay, just doing a lot of spy checking. I'd say, yeah, using the rockets to spy check is pretty good. But you're not necessarily going to hit a cloak spy with your bullets as often. It's very buggy. And if you do hit a spy with the bullets, it's probably because he's standing still and you've been shooting at him for like at least 2 seconds. Okay, spy's up top there. You can't really do anything about it. I'd say wrangling there is an alright choice, since you could be being spammed by the sniper who's up there on the right for free. Since like a rocket and like a magnet charge is what they need to take out the gun. Where else is it? Okay, you're back here. It's hard to see, you've got the ghost cosmetics. An annoying demo bug. So this is alright so far. The life of an engineer is not much action. I'd say don't spend too much time doing this because of that. I was just about to say, spy can come up behind you right there, especially since this area here is a very safe decloak spot. Yeah, you didn't necessarily need to spam your bullets with the gun there because you weren't really getting any value from doing that. Like, you were potentially suppressing there for the high risk of getting backstabbed, which wasn't a very good trade, so that's just something to think of in the future. You just need to keep your gun alive so that people can't walk in or bomb your medic for free. You don't necessarily need to be constantly pressuring with your gun. Your gun just exists creating pressure, and your gun doesn't create pressure if you're dead. So the spy's in. You're setting up an octopus hold very well. You've got a dispenser set up here. Thankfully your team didn't steal ammo from you, which always happens to me. So this is like, two people unaware, this is the octopus hold. It's pretty much the meta hold on upward, since holding passive on second here often just gives up high ground up here to the enemy team, in which they can pretty much just bomb you and take out the point. So this is basically just the best hold for upward at the moment. I still call it the Strong Opinions hold because that's the first team I saw use it. But it's now been called the octopus hold because you have these far-reaching tentacles reaching to every access point. Oof, unfortunately backstabbed there. I'd say standing around about here to get like repairs is very dangerous. I would probably stand around this area here or further back. It's pretty difficult. Like you could most likely stand on the dispenser in that area because this area is very open. That's the point of the hold, is you have a lot of space to reach from. But it also means you can be flanked. I like to stand here personally. Its weakness is if a sniper walks over to here, which they do go to quite a lot. And it's hard to communicate that until they've already taken a shot. So I'd say maybe stand around dispenser and repair with the rescue ranger. So you're setting up on the standard area here. This is all right. I'd say maybe hold it a little bit further back, like around about this area, just so you have less places to worry about, because a spy can decloak in this little like bit here, like inside this here, reach out and stab. Or like, you don't want to build your sentry too close to the end of this like patio area here, because a spy can decloak right here and sap the gun without being seen or being shot at. So it's very easy for a spy to get a sap there without either you knowing that they're there or being able to deal with them there unless you have the shotgun equipped. Okay, so sniper has free reign here. You don't want to be peeking sightline here. You most likely want to either try and keep your gun alive. Okay, heavy has high ground here, so you want to try and pull your gun back, or at least leave it to die so your team can hold, because as I said before, this hold isn't very good at the moment. The team has high ground, they can bomb you for free, the heavy can peek over and shoot your gun as long as the offensive team has heals. So this area is very difficult to hold, especially when you're all grouped up. But again, this is a lobby, so they're probably just following standard holds. So yeah, your team isn't doing so well in this hold. Your soldier's doing a good job contesting. Your sniper's in a good position. He's not being covered though, so he could get killed by a spy pretty easily. But I'd say you're doing alright job here. Like, yeah, as I said, it's not a... Okay, should try and pull your gun. Okay, nice, good job. Yeah. Is that a spy scout? No. It's an STV, so I would see as a spy. Okay, that's a good use. That's like nice beep sentry. Beep used to like put his sentry back here. I tend to use that quite a bit. Okay, you want to try and pull your gun. Okay. Did you have enough metal for that? No, okay, you died. Oh, that's unfortunate. I would prefer backing out third early. It's better to like do like a safer, more cautious back off to the next point than risk going for a forward hold. The forward hold on this point is very strong actually. If you can get like a gun here and your combo holding house, you can delay quite a lot of time, especially if your sniper is very good and holding roller coaster. But this isn't a coordinated game, so you can't necessarily rely on that, so I would just play consistent and passive. Okay, so spy's in here. He should be called out. That soldier isn't paying attention. This gun is a little bit too far forward. I would set it like passive, like on tracks, like right as like this bit turns here. Like put a sentry here. And then your dispenser around this area, if you place it correctly, people should be able to get ammo through this wall. Yeah, this hold's a little bit too far forward. This is a strong spot on pubs because they have to push from low ground, but in Highlander play, the combo, providing they're not being crushed by your combo, can take into this area, buff Sniper, and Sniper can just watch all of this area. So you want to have your gun like safely back here and your dispenser here, but you don't currently have a team on third, so I guess you're just playing where your team is. In which case, I would probably notice that your combo is playing very aggressive and move your level 1 sentry up to here. I'm not sure where actually you'd put your dispenser on this forward hold. Maybe you'd move it up top to here. Maybe you'd... I wonder if you'd put it like maybe up here so that like you could probably rescue ranger it from this sideline. That's actually a good idea. Okay. Your combo's doing a very good job holding them out. Your flank... Your sniper is not shooting their sniper. Yeah, that cart shouldn't be allowed to be walked up that far, especially if your combo so far forward. Your combo now died, so you're probably going to lose third here, the risk of taking a forward hold. You should probably back up your gun here because it's going to get surrounded. Especially since the scout's already behind, but I guess you can't really back out your gun because a scout can just run up to you and kill you. Well, I'd say, like, all things considered, maybe the gun could be a little bit further to the right so you don't have to peek your head whenever you repair, but the gun seems to be doing a pretty good job. Their flank is currently behind, which I guess actually benefits you with the gun spot. Now you back up. Now you have to look out for them coming onto you. Because with their flank behind, if you were here, Spike could sit back at choke and harass you with his overpowered cannon weapon. And when you were holding here, you wouldn't really be harassed. Your heavy's good. He's paying attention. Okay, I'd probably move sentry a little bit further back just because I think Demo could sticky spam it from here. Soldier seems to have a... Actually, no, I don't think Soldier can hit it from there, but I definitely think Demo could. Okay. Your flank isn't doing very well. You've got a dispenser in a good spot now. Just need to get to you so I can spec. Okay, there you are. Yeah. Watching games of other classes like Spy is very flashy, but watching a review of Engineer is more about judging where you place your buildings and how you decide to stay alive. Okay, I wouldn't wrangle here because you don't know where the Spy is right now, and he is there, and you should always think that he's going to be, like, lying in wait for a sap or a stab. So the Spy is behind. Okay, okay, you chased after the Spy. I wouldn't do that because it could be baiting for a sniper peeking. You should pretty much stay behind in this area. Now it's another lull in combat. There's not really much you can do here. If your team was super aggressive and coordinated, you could retake house with a forward hold, but it's a lobby. So pretty much you just want to wait here, try not to die, and try not to let the Spy get your gun. So I think a few things you can do is, like, when you're spy checking, try to use either your rescue ranger, like, bolts, try to use all of them, try to maybe, like, spam one and keep 3 loaded at all times. And use your Wrangler rockets to spy check. I like to Wrangler rocket in these corners here or on this barrel, because that's where Cloak and Dagger spies like to sit. Okay. Thankfully your pyro is near there at the time, but generally if you know the enemy team is starting to spam rockets on you, you can expect a spy to decloak. So a good thing to do is, like, if rockets are coming towards your gun and you want to pull out the Wrangler to tank some damage, expect the Spy to also be nearby to sap. So if you see someone approaching your gun, anybody, even if it looks like a medic, just fire, like, either rockets at the floor or at the ground. Because, like, see the Spy coming in. If he goes in for a sap right now and you fire a rocket at him, you'll do, like, 100 damage to him. And, like, either someone on your team will clear him up, or you can, like, get a Rescue Ranger bolt to him. Okay, that's a pretty good pull. Go for the passive hold. You should look out for someone trying to flank here, because your team just got pushed back, so anyone could come up through here. Thankfully your heavy is watching the side flank. You've pretty much... You could very well have lost the point there, but your heavy is doing very well. And you've now just retaken this side. Ah, unfortunately, they got the cap. You can still hold this position here, but they now have a forward spawn, so it's easier for them to suicide in, so you probably want to back out. Either get a good hold on last or a forward hold. Yeah. You just lost a bunch of players, so you lost your combo, so you should back out here, definitely. Either try and get your gun, or just leave it there as you go to setup. Ah, unfortunate, there's a scout behind. So it'd be better to go for the safe backup. When you back up to here, you could either pull your gun and then put it like here to sort of like watch this corridor here. I don't think it watches all the way, it just watches this front bit, so it kind of blocks. Or you could put it here, just as like a forward hold, so when you get back to spawn, you could either rescue it back to the main hold, or whatever. Should look out for that spy. Yeah, spy pick. And you should also try and get a teleporter up here, because getting a teleporter up here for your team to hold tiles is very powerful. Like, have a tele exit, I'd say, like, in this corner here, or probably not this corner here, because it can get peeked by a sniper, so this corner here facing outwards. Because as long as your team holds this area, you can hold the point, and you can have your sentry up. I would put the sentry here when building it, because it's closest to the cabinet to set up, and if you're being attacked, you have like a lot of area of safety. While if you're like immediately setting up here, there's a long walk back and forth to keep leveling up your gun, and there's a lot of places you can be stabbed when you're dumping metal into your gun. Because Spy can decloak up here, you can decloak here, you can decloak on this ledge here. Most popular, he decloaks up here. It's a very uncommon spot in most situations, but a lot of Highlander spies use it because a lot of people don't seem to know about it. So if you're an NG main, look out for this spot. I believe Spy can cloak, get up here, jump on this ledge, jump on this box here, and then crouch jump up here. There's a lot of new Spy spots that are opened up because of Spy's base movement speed. Another reason why that change is broken, because it pretty much breaks a lot of map design. Spies can also get up past your dispenser by here if they dead ring a jump, or if they boost jump over here. So you should definitely look out for that. It's quite tricky, and that if you're fighting a spy main with a lot of hours or a high rank, you could expect them to do it, but I don't think it's going to be a common thing. I mean, I know a lot of spies watch my channel, so now they're aware of it. So don't think this dispenser's bulletproof. Also, when placing the dispenser, I recommend placing it like a little bit sideways like this, just because the lengths of the corners of a rectangle are further apart than the sides. So if you put it at a very slight like angle, it covers more space, because this area to try and dispenser block is pretty tricky. You seem to have got it correctly, but it's very easy to like place it in the middle, and then there's a lot of space here. But placing it at a slight angle, not too much, but a slight angle, gives you a little bit of extra length. NG things. Okay. Oh, I wonder if that spy was actually trying to go for the trick jump. He's probably just jumping down. Okay. Oh, you're holding aggressive hold. I don't think I've seen this gun spot before. Let me see. I wonder if that could actually work. I think that actually could, yeah. I don't think they have sightline of it here. I think if they're aware of it, they could sticky spam it. But I like the creativity, because the main problem, I guess, would be someone just sacking to cart and slowly pushing up. So this will give you good protection, providing they don't come up from this drop down here. So the soldier here is getting harassed. This is one of those situations where, yeah, okay, yeah, Spy can just sap it, but that Spy is being way too ballsy. That Spy should have died there, but he has a medic on him for some reason. Welcome to lobbies. It feels bad, man. Yeah, you should, when you're up there, you should definitely try and set up a tele here. I'm not sure if you were aware of it, but I think it's better to set up a consistent level 3 sentry around about this area than go for like an aggressive level 1 there. But I think you were just being creative. I think that was actually pretty good sentry, if I'm honest. I would say, okay, this used to be a common sentry. I don't like it because of the sightline there. This is probably my favorite one because of setup. This one's pretty good because it watches choke. And if the cart is pushed all the way up to this area here on the rollback, try putting like a level 1 here, because the boxes provide enough like blockage of sightline that they don't really deal with it unless they're already up top, or if they're right on the cart, and it gets a lot of damage, especially if you can get it to level 2. I think level 3 it sticks out enough that they can actually spam it. I think level 2 actually sticks out enough, but like level 2 just for the extra damage. But it's pretty nice because it means they they can't like stand here, they have to stand over here, and if they're standing over here, then your team can like safely stand here and attack them, which is pretty common. So that's a good hold to do. So you're on the panic attack, pistol, and the gunslinger. That's an alright loadout. That's usually my suicide loadout, because it allows you to just go in for picks. And usually situations where you could only fire 1 or 2 shots, you get the opportunity to fire 3 or 4 because of the way panic attack works. Pretty cool weapon. I would personally, at the start here, go shotgun wrangler, because getting like a mini sentry up here or up here when you take this ground is pretty strong for just harassing out the flank without necessarily putting yourself in danger. Panic attack is good here, especially if you have aim, but if you feel less confident in your aim, wrangled minis are a very good and consistent strat. Just set up a wrangled mini here, and anyone who approaches you, you can just aimbot them. Okay. I would say also spend the start of this round here maybe checking for spies. It's less prevalent in EU because a lot of spies just run dead ringer all the time because they're bad. But again, against good spies and spies who like to use cloak and dagger a lot, they're not good spies, to be honest. You can look out for spies who stand up here in the Frank West spot, on this rock, in the pub spot over here, the Granger Bob spot. Granger Bob always stands up here. You should find a new spot. Also, the Granger spot over here. He should really be more creative. There's also the toast spot over here. If you're fighting a dead ringer spy, he's going to stand here and just keep getting feigns because dead ringers are balanced unlock. Okay, so you're just like suiciding in to the enemy team. That NG's got a very grouped up area. Oh my god, the panic attack! You get the medic pick! Oh, going after the NG. Ah, rip. Dude, that was a pretty good play. The team was grouped up. See, this is one of the things with having, like, sentries and such. Sentries dictate where the enemy team shouldn't be, teleporters dictate where your team wants to go, and dispensers dictate where you want your team to go. By having the dispenser back there, the enemy engineer forced his team passive, and you could just walk in, which is a good strat, which is why I would have, like, dispenser around here, so you can hold high ground. Dispensers are like flags, basically. Okay, so your team is going for a nice aggressive bomb here. As I said before, this is one of the reasons why building your gun here as like the main hold isn't good, because you're basically giving high ground and free bombs to the enemy team. You're doing a good job pushing up the cart. Your scout's doing a great job. Getting a lot of extra damage with that panic attack. Where are you? I need to find the... I wish there was just spectator binds to switch to people. God damn it, I think you're dead. Ah, professional streamer, there we go. Okay, have you got a teleporter set up? Okay, teleporter, like, would be good here. It's kind of annoying because there's like there isn't a fixed spawn. I wish people always spawn this side so you could just build tele, but entrance there. I like to put an exit around about this area here because you want to give people options when they take a tele. So someone who teles up here gets high ground, so they get to see everything. They can either decide to run through here, they can run to tunnel, you can jump down, you know. You want to give people a lot of options so you don't choke your team. Getting a cart pushed up. I would also, when you're about to cap, especially since you didn't build a tele the first round, when you're pushing through tunnel, you should place an entrance here preemptively. You can move it here. I like to put a dispenser here and then exit here when I'm waiting, because pretty much this area is like, you're going to push up the cart, you're expected to push up the cart, you're most likely going to die, because pushing up this cart in this area is dangerous. So you want to like preemptively set up your teleporter so that when you die you can build an entrance and upgrade it from spawn. I'd put a dispenser there to build it, and then you can move it up and put dispenser around about here. Okay, looks like you're just like going in for like plays here because you've got quite a lot of time. But if, yeah, like in this situation, I guess it was alright to go for plays there. I didn't really see if you actually got any plays, especially since there isn't a sentry. But you should be pushing the cart here because engineer is pretty much the primary cart pusher. He's the extra pair of hands on the team, because scouts has like roles of wanting to be either with the combo or the flank, because scout has the potential to do a lot of damage. So having like an engineer go flank and a scout pushing the cart, even though scout is pushing the cart faster, it's like less valuable than having a scout go flank and an engineer pushing the cart. I kind of wish captures were actually like, you know, like in Overwatch where it's objective time and not captures based. Because there's a lot of times where I'm not actually near the capture and I'm setting up the tally for the next point. So I don't really get that many captures. But anyway, that was a good chase. I want to get that cart pushed up to about here before it starts to get dangerous, and then start building dispenser and telly. You haven't really been building tellies on offense here. It's been a bit of a roll here, so it's like less of an issue. But I think you should always be building teleporters. Teleporters are arguably the most important building in the game. I guess next to sappers. Okay, team can just keep shoving here. You want to have a teleporter up here. It's, again, not as much of an issue because of how close the spawn is, but it's still nice to have a level 3 teleporter. I like putting it around about here. Or some people like putting it here, but I don't like putting it too close to the dispenser because Spike could go for a telefrag. But it's nice to have, like, a level 3 teleporter because it basically allows you to just go in for picks. Because if you're using the panic attack to go for, like, feeding strats, having the level 3 telly basically turns you into Murky from Heroes of the Storm, where you can set up your egg somewhere and then just go in and feed, and it doesn't matter because you're up again and you're going back in. So if anything, focusing on teleporters inhibits you to be able to feed. Okay, so that's an alright telly, but I wouldn't say it's the best idea because it's right next to the dispenser. And it's potentially dangerous to your team, especially since everyone else on your team doesn't touch the dispenser. They don't like clip into the dispenser, so they could potentially be in telefrag radius. Okay, good upgrade time. I would also say that, like, in situations where either you've just respawned and you've capped the point, or all your buildings are down and your team has this area for free, you can walk out, place an entrance with the Eureka effect, head to the area, place an exit with Eureka effect, and place a dispenser. And then after you've done that, you TP back to base, switch back to Gunslinger. You can upgrade your teleporter in like 3 seconds, 3 or 4 seconds, and basically have a level 3 telly instantly, and providing the telly doesn't get sapped, if your exit goes down, you can just rebuild it and get level 3 tellies much faster, which is nice to have. I like to do that whenever I've fed before capping a point, which pretty much all the time. Okay, so this is just holding, pushing back and forth. See, now you still have an entrance at spawn, so if you had Eureka effect, it would still cost only 100 metal to upgrade. I wouldn't pre-upgrade it until you built an exit, because of the chance that you build an exit and then it immediately goes down. I believe that resets the level again. Or, like, because I could just shoot, like, if a spy was being a dickhead nearby, he could just revolver it when you're building it, and it would just instantly destroy it. Or if the telly gets sapped before you place an exit. Plus, it kind of wastes time. So this is pretty good. Get a mini up before you go and push the cart, so it can watch your back. I'm going for a heavy pick. And so that's alright. It's a lobby. It was kind of a roll on your side a little bit in terms of your team had a lot of good players. But I'd say you did overall pretty alright, and you played the positioning pretty well. You did very well with holding the areas. Sentry, your building positions were a little bit off, but you were also being creative in some situations. So, and I think that's pretty good, especially when you're playing lobbies. There's a degree of openness to lobbies that you can just try out different things. And that's definitely something to do. So it's not entirely like judging your entire playstyle based on lobbies. I don't understand people who actually do that. So I'd say that was a pretty good game. There's hopefully a lot of stuff you could have learned from that. And I think it was pretty interesting, especially watching people use the good weapons like Eureka Effect instead of just using Jag all the time. So yeah, I think overall, I think that game was alright. So thank you for watching this video, everybody. If you out there are an engineer and you want your demo to be reviewed, preferably Highlander. I don't want pub stuff. Highlander, lobbies, scrims, preferably scrims, because there's more you can glean off organized play than just slightly organized pubs. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.
Hold my hand, you're dragging me along this quicksand. Salt water and castles falling down. As the glass fills up with the brain, don't be ashamed. You only get one damn chance with this game. So call my name and I'll be there, ready to stoke that